Hello, Daniela.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Doing great, and you?
I am okay.
Yes?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. How's it going?
Well, nothing interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are you ready for the weekend?
Yes, I am ready.
Me, I am ready too. I'm bit.
Yeah.
Yes. I need a weekend. I need a good weekend just to sleep. That's what I
Yeah.
need. Sleep. I know. But anyways, so okay. Today we have a lot of things to discuss, okay? And before
Okay.
anything, let's see. Yes, I know. We need to talk about something that is very important. Let me show you my screen really fast. Okay, we need to discuss about what is the difference between the use of semicolons and the point, because they seem to be very similar. So I want to clarify any questions that we might still have in these punctuation rules. And let's review this. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so semicolons in compound sentences. Let's see. Semicolons are most often used to connect two independent clauses. Full sentences, that's what it means, that are related in meaning. Both the words before the semicolon and the words after it must be complete sentences that could be separated with a period. We have some examples. We could go fishing on Saturday. You could borrow a pole from my neighbor. You could go fishing on Saturday. You could borrow a pole from my neighbor. Remember that the period is a complete pause. And the semicolon is partially. So the big difference here is how you continue reading the information, right?
Yeah.
Using a semicolon to connect two independent clauses creates what's called a compound sentence. Yes, this becomes one compound sentence, and these become two independent sentences, right? If you don't want to use a semicolon, you could use a comma and the words and, but, or so to connect the original two sentences could be used. If you use however or moreover to connect your ideas, you need to use a semicolon in front of it and a comma after it. And we talk about this, right? And we call this conjunction, remember?
Yes.
Okay. The course is hard, but the teacher is pretty funny. We can use a comma. Okay. So here we have a subordinating conjunction. The course is hard. However, the teacher is pretty funny. Okay. Coordinating conjunction, subordinating conjunction. So that's pretty much the difference. Any questions up to here?
No.
No questions? Pretty easy, right?
Yes.
Ah, come on, it is.
Yes, I think so. Maybe after could be hard. I don't know.
Okay, good. Okay, let's continue. Using a semicolon instead of a period lets you emphasize the connection between your original two sentences and also lets you vary the structure of the sentence. Okay, making your paragraph easier for someone else to read. All right, makes sense. Now, semicolons with commas in a series. Less often, you need a semicolon to separate items in a series. And yes, we discussed this. Ordinarily, of course, you can just use commas, like here. He's taking algebra, biology, and drama. Don't forget about your Oxford comma.
Mhm.
But when the series you're writing about already contains commas of its own, adding more commas can confuse your readers. Okay?
Mhm.
So, example, he's taking algebra, which he's good at, biology, his least favorite subject, and drama for fun. Okay?
Mhm.
On the table were 3 piles: meat, chicken and fish, rice, bread, and pasta, and spinach, broccoli, and kale. Okay, so everything is just everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is a big no-no. No, no. This one and this one, right?
Yeah.
To make your list clearer, therefore, use commas instead of semicolons to mark off its major sections. He's taking algebra, which he's good at, semicolon, biology, his least favorite subject, and drama for fun. Okay, that makes sense,
Mhm.
right? So the ideas are where they belong.
Yeah.
On the table were 3 piles. We keep the column. Meat, chicken, and fish. This is one combo. Rice, bread, and pasta, another combo. And spinach, broccoli, and kale, the last combo. I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
any questions?
No. Mm,
No?
no. Okay.
Okay, let's continue. Now, this is important also. Misuses of the semicolon. Because a semicolon can only separate independent clauses, it cannot be used when the words before or after it cannot stand alone as a sentence. For example, independent dependent clause. No. Driving to school, I saw the accident. This is a big no-no. No, no.
Mhm.
You do well on your speech because you practice so carefully. No, that's a big no-no too. Okay.
Okay.
As a general rule, you may not want to use more than one semicolon in a paragraph. Okay, yes, because if not, is what we call, do you remember? A run-on sentence or statement. Okay.
Mhm.
Too long, you never finish.
Okay. Yeah.
Avoid using 2 semicolons to connect 3 sentences. Yes, don't do that. Well, the thing is, it's just too much information when you read. And
Mhm.
again, you might confuse the reader or your ideas are not well organized. Okay,
Mhm.
any questions?
No.
No questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we have a practice here.
Okay.
Insert any semicolons or commas needed in the following sentences. Okay, so we have 10. You can write on your notebook,
Mhm.
okay, and work this information, and then we practice the answers, okay? Let me know when you're ready. Take your time,
Okay.
okay? Let me know when you finish.
Okay.
How are you doing, Daniela?
I am in the number 7.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Okay, I think that I done.
Okay, let's try this. Number 1.
Okay. He slept through, comma, luckily, comma, his first class was canceled.
Yes, remember? This is not. Oh, okay. Sorry. He slept through his alarm.
Oh, yes.
Comma.
He slept through, yes.
Okay. Luckily.
Comma, and comma. His
Okay.
first class was canceled.
All right. So we're going to leave it like that at this moment. Number 2.
He's tripping over the dog and semicolon. I dropped my cup.
Right here. Tripping over the dog. Semicolon.
Yeah.
Like here.
Mhm.
Okay. 3.
Okay. We practice it every day after school, comma, and all Saturday, comma. However, semicolon, we lost the game. I don't know
Okay.
if it's
Okay. 4.
we baked
Baked.
six baked 6 dozen cookies, semicolon, knowing that they always sell out fast.
Okay. 5.
At Halloween, we gave out Reese's,
Reese's.
Reese's, Snickers, and Crunch Bars, semicolon, gumballs, caramels, and toffee, semicolon, and apples, comma, and candy corn.
Okay.
She's a little bit country, semicolon, he's a little bit rock and roll.
Okay. 7.
You'll need to turn left on Cedar,
Cedar.
semicolon, it's their house on the right.
Okay.
The rent is expensive, comma, more over, comma, the house is pretty small.
Okay.
I don't have the next one.
Okay. Number 10.
Sam went skiing, semicolon. Terry, however, went snowboarding.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay. So let's check our answers. Okay. So he slept through his alarm. Here we need a semicolon.
Oh.
And that's it.
Okay.
That means that we have 2 independent clauses. Tripping over the dog. And remember, well, this looks, I dropped my cup, sounds like an independent clause.
Yes.
Right? So we could use a comma or a semicolon. Even though this looks like an independent clause, it's not completed yet. I dropped my cup. So, but check it out. Tripping over the dog, I dropped my cup. So we have a sequence.
Yeah.
These statement could work as an independent, but it's a sequence of this. So it's better.
No lo tengo claro.
Okay, Alexa. So this could be just normal, a comma.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and here, check it out. We practice every day after school and all Saturday. Semicolon, however, comma, we lost the game. Remember? All of this is together. We practice every day after school and all Saturday. Semicolon, however, we lost the game.
Yeah.
Let me work this out. Okay. We baked 6 dozen cookies. Okay, knowing that they always sell out fast. So yes, we have 2 independent clauses, but like number 2, this is a continuation. So we can just use a comma.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 5. At Halloween, we gave out Reese's, Snickers, and Crunch Bars. But let's see. You started your semicolon here. So you don't need it here. Because this is just one group. Your second group starts here. and your third group. So that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
6. She's a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll. I love that expression. And you're correct.
Mhm.
Because they're independent clauses, but different ideas. So that's correct. You need to turn left on Cedar. It's the third house on the right. Correct. The rent is expensive, but this is a semicolon.
Okay.
Moreover, comma, the house is pretty small. Okay.
Mhm.
Number 9. I didn't study for the test. I didn't have my notes, having left them in the classroom. So you have two independent clauses, but they are independent. They're not, the second one is not a continuation, so semicolon, right?
Mhm. Here.
Some went skiing, Terry, comma, however, went snowboarding. And, and this one is something that is, we didn't work. Some went skiing, okay? Terry went snowboarding. So what we're saying here is that we have two independent clauses. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, because we have different ideas. Now, Terry, however, went snowboarding. This is something that is new because you have your subordinate conjunction after your noun.
Yeah.
This, however, maybe it's not necessary. So that's why you separate it.
Okay.
Puedes decir Terry went snowboarding,
Yeah.
¿verdad? Y funciona perfecto. Pero quieres crear más drama en la expresión.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yes.
Mhm.
Any questions here? Hey,
No.
I'm going to admit this is not an easy exercise. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, but it's okay.
All right. So let's talk about argumentative essay examples.
Mhm.
So what's an argumentative essay? Do you know? By any chance?
Mm, No.
Okay. Let's read some argumentative essays and then we discuss what is your opinion about what the essay is telling us. We have different
Okay.
scenarios. Let's read the first essay. Are you ready?
Yes.
I can read the beginning, okay?
Okay.
As online learning becomes more common and more resources are converted to digital form, some people have suggested that public libraries should be shut down. And in their place, everyone should be given an iPad with an e-reader subscription. Okay.
Mhm.
Can we go to the next paragraph? Can you help me with the reading?
Yes. Uh, pro proponents of this idea state that it will save local cities and towns money because libraries are expensive to maintain. They also believe it will encourage more people to read because they won't have to travel to a library to get a book. They can simply click on what they want to read and read it from wherever they are. They could also access more materials because libraries won't have to buy physical copies of books. They can simply rent out as many digital copies as they need. However, it would be a serious mistake to replace libraries with tablets First, digital books and resources are associated with less learning and more problems than print resources. A study done on tablet versus book reading found that people read 20–30% slower and on tablets, retain 20% less information, and understand 10% less of what they read compared to people who read the same information in print. Additionally, staring too long at a screen has been shown to cause numerous health problems, including blurred vision, dizziness, dry eyes, headaches, and eye strain at a much higher instance that reading print does. People who use tablets and mobile devices excessively also have a higher accidence of more serious health issues such as fibromyalgia,
Yes,
fibromyalgia,
fibromyalgia.
okay, shoulder and back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and muscle
Syndrome.
syndrome, yeah, and muscle strain. I know that whenever I read from my e-reader for too long, my eyes begin to feel tired and my neck hurts. We should not add to these problems by giving people, especially young people, more reasons to look at the screens. Second, it is incredibly narrow-minded to assume that the only service libraries offer is book lending. Libraries have a multitude of benefits, and many are only available if the library has a physical location. Some of these benefits include acting as a quiet study space, giving people a way to converse with their neighbors, holding classes on a variety of topics, providing jobs, answering patron questions, and keeping the community connected. One neighborhood found that after a local library instituted community events such as playtimes for toddlers and parents, job fairs for teenagers, and meeting spaces for senior citizens. Over a third of residents reported feeling more connected to the community. Similarly, a Pew survey conducted in 2015 found that nearly 2/3 of American adults feel that closing their local library will have a major impact on their community. People see libraries as a way to connect with others and get their questions answered. Benefits tablets can offer nearly as well as or as easily. While replacing libraries with tablets may seem like a simple solution, it will encourage people to spend even more time looking at digital screens, despite the myriad issues surrounding them. It will also end access to many of the benefits of libraries that people have come to rely on. In many areas, libraries are such an important part of the community network that they could never be replaced by a simple object.
And I agree.
Mhm.
And I can only say this as an experience in my community in Texas. I live very close to a public library, and you go there and you can get your own study room, and you have a board, you have electricity, you can study for your exam, prepare for a big presentation, or do your homework with your friends.
Mhm.
And that's something tablets don't offer.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know how
Mhm.
it is in Bolivia. Do you have public
Um,
libraries that function the same way?
yes, but we don't have too much. Maybe in the universities. Yes, I remember that too. But I had an experience when I was in the United States. I went to the library often because the baby that I took care, he liked books. So it's like I went every Saturday with him. So I know what it means, this article, but it's not in all the countries because here we don't have we have one big, it's a one big library in the city, but it's not, it's not too fancy, that another libraries. But yes, I understand the feeling too.
Yes. And well, I guess iPads and that free access also, and that availability of internet has created that these benefit of not having to go somewhere else to look for information. But also, we need to socialize, right?
Yeah, true.
At some point, and some of the socialization requires working with other people, and that's what it is. Now, after reading the essay, what is the posture of the writer? Is he pro or against the use of iPads?
Mm, I think, uh, I don't know, maybe 50-50.
Yes, he's
Because,
not clear, right?
yeah,
He's not clear what is the correct option. And what
yes.
is your understanding of an argument?
Um, hmm. What I understand about an argument.
Yes, about this argument. What is your understanding? What is the problem, or what is the main idea about this essay?
Mm, well, I think that it's they trying to tell us that it's important to have a space to read
Mhm.
and do homework. I think so. That it's important to have a specific place, you know. But I don't know. It's like, mm, it's like I think that it's this article express more than that a positive way that we have the libraries, but not tablets. It's like tablets are very bad for you. Don't use it,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, because it's giving you evidence, right?
Yeah,
Right
but
here
it's
in
not
this.
true because you tablets are good too, and it's good for the um, for the trees, for the,
Oh, yes.
it's
Mhm.
good in some ways. It's not too bad, but I understand the social thing and I don't know. Maybe some people like more go to a place to study, to stay in the house and study for his own.
Mhm.
So I am not total agree with this, but I understand what they are trying to tell.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Now, perhaps the thesis statement is not clear. We
Mhm.
need to state, okay, so online learning has become very common, okay, and most of the information is being uh, convert it into digital form so everybody can see it anywhere, everywhere. Okay. But are you pro or against having or not having public libraries? You need to be very clear in your thesis statement. Some people say we don't, but I think we should, or we don't. So is your opinion against what people say or what the news are saying? So you need to be very clear on your posture.
Yeah.
Even though we have this evidence, I believe that this is not true because of this. Pretty much this argumentative essay is a good essay, but some of the information is not clear on what's your posture. You're giving me facts, that's good, but I need to know what is the writer's posture. Is it a pro or against? And it's not clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have an analysis. The author begins by giving an overview of the counter argument. Then the thesis appears as the first sentence in the third paragraph. The essay then spends the rest of the paper dismantling the counter argument and arguing why readers should believe the other side. Okay, so what this essay does well, although it's a bit unusual to have the thesis appear fairly far from the essay, it works because once the thesis is stated, the rest of the essay focuses on supporting it, since the counter argument has already been discussed earlier in the paper. Okay, remember, your thesis statement has to be in your introduction, not in the body.
Okay.
Okay, so this essay includes numerous facts and cites studies to support its case by having a specific data to rely on. The author's argument is stronger and readers will be more inclined to agree with it. Okay, so let's see. Oops, we don't discuss what could be done better, but we discussed it. We need to show a clear objective. Are we against it or are we in favor? And this essay doesn't tell us that, okay? We have pretty good information, but we don't know the posture. Let's try another essay. Argumentative essay example number 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's read it, okay?
Okay.
Remember, we need to read a lot to be ready for the TOEFL exam, okay?
It's okay. I start?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Malaria is an infection disease caused by parasites that are transmitted to people through female Anopheles mosquitoes. Each year, over 500 million people will become infected with malaria, with roughly 80% of them living in sub-Saharan Africa. Nearly half a million people die of malaria every year, most of them young children under the age of 5. Unlike many other infectious diseases, the death toll for malaria is rising. While there have been many programs designed to improve access to malaria treatment, the best way to reduce the impact of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa is to focus on reducing the number of people who contract the disease in the first place, rather than waiting to treat the disease after the person is already infected.
Okay.
There are...
just a second. Where do you think is the thesis statement for this introduction?
Sorry?
Which one is your thesis statement?
Oh, Um, the disease, I think so. Malaria.
While there have been many programs designed to improve access to malaria treatment, the best way to reduce the impact of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa is to focus on reducing the number of people who contract the disease in the first place, rather than waiting for to treat the disease after the person is already infected. Esa es tu idea principal. Y sobre eso vamos a trabajar. Ya te di en tu essay, aquí dice, eso se llama background information. Some history. Okay. But this is my thesis statement right here. Sobre esto vamos a trabajar nuestro body. Todos estos párrafos. Y cada párrafo tiene una main idea. Pero eso es lo que vamos a hablar, ¿vale?
Okay.
Let's go to the next part, to the next paragraph.
There are multiple drugs available to treat malaria, and many of them work well and save lives. But malaria eradication programs that focus too much on them and not enough on prevention haven't seen long-term success in sub-Saharan Africa. A major program to combat malaria was WHO's Global Malaria Eradication Program. It started in 1955. It had a goal of eliminating malaria in Africa within the next 10 years. Based upon previously successful programs in Brazil and the United States, the program focused mainly on vector control. These include widely distributed chloroquine and spraying large amounts of DDT. More than $1 billion was spent trying to abolish malaria. However, the program suffered from many problems, and in 1969, WHO was forced to admit that the program had not succeeded in eradicating malaria. The number of people in sub-Saharan Africa who contracted malaria, as well as the number of malaria deaths, had actually increased over 10% during the time the program was active. One of the major reasons for the failure of the project was that it set uniform strategies and policies. By failing to consider variations between governments, geography, and infrastructure, the program was not nearly as successful as it could have been. Sub-Saharan Africa has neither the money nor the infrastructure to support such an elaborate program, and it couldn't be run the way it was meant to. Most African countries don't have the resources to send all their people to doctors and get shots, nor can they afford to clear wetlands or other malaria-prone areas. The continent's spending per person for eradicating malaria was just a quarter of what Brazil spends. Sub-Saharan Africa simply can't rely on a plan that requires more money, infrastructure, and expertise than they have to spare. Additionally, the widespread use of chloroquine has created drug-resistant parasites which are now plaguing sub-Saharan Africa. Because chloroquine was used widely but inconsistently, mosquitoes developed resistance. And chloroquine is now nearly completely ineffective in sub-Saharan Africa, with over 95% of mosquitoes resistant to it. As a result, never more expensive drugs need to be used to prevent and treat malaria, which further drives up the cost of malaria treatment for a region that can ill afford it. Instead of developing plans to treat malaria after the infection has occurred, programs should focus on preventing infection from occurring in the first place. Not only is this plan cheaper and more effective reducing the number of people who contract malaria, also reduces loss of work, school days, which can further bring down the productivity of the region. One of the cheapest and most effective ways of preventing malaria is to implement insecticide-treated bed nets, ETNs. These nets provide a protective barrier around the person or people using them. While untreated bed nets are still helpful, those treated with insecticides are much more useful because they stop mosquitoes from biting people through the nets, and they help reduce mosquitoes population in a community, thus helping people who don't even own bed nets. Bed nets are also very effective because most mosquito bites occur while the person is sleeping. So bed nets will be able to drastically reduce the number of transmissions during the night. In fact, transmission of malaria can be reduced by as much as 90% in areas where the use of ETNs is widespread. Because money is so scarce in sub-Saharan Africa, the low cost is a great benefit and a major reason why the program is so successful. Bednets cost roughly $2 to make last several years and can protect 2 adults. Studies have shown that for every 1,000 more nets are being used, one less child dies of malaria, with an estimated 300 million people in Africa not being protected by mosquito nets. There is the potential to save 3 million lives by spending just a few dollars per person. Reducing the number of people who contract malaria will also reduce poverty levels in Africa significantly, thus improving other aspects of society like education levels and the economy. Vector control is more effective than treatment strategies because it means fewer people are getting sick. When fewer people get sick, the working population is stronger as a whole because people are not put out of work from malaria, nor are they caring for sick relatives. Malaria-afflicted families can typically only harvest 40% of the crops that healthy families can harvest. Additionally, a family with members who have malaria spends roughly a quarter of its income treatment. Not including the loss of work, they also must deal with the due to the illness. It's estimated that malaria costs African 12 billion US in lost income every year. A strong working population creates a stronger economy, which sub-Saharan Africa is in a desperate need of.
Okay, a lot of information, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have statistics, we have facts, we have a solution, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in this conclusion, pretty much everything that we discuss is there, right? So, question, do we have a clear objective where the writer is trying to get? Yes. He's giving us evidence on how to counterattack the malaria
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and what should be done, right? We don't have any more information on what was good about this essay, but I ask you, what is your opinion about this essay? Was it a good argument?
Yes, because he's showing us everything that it happened in that place, no? The
Mhm.
economy, the health, the everything that they need. So yes, I think that it's okay, the argument.
And remember, the thesis statement is telling us, while there are many programs designed to improve access to malaria treatment, but that means after people get infected. The main idea here is the best way to reduce the impact of malaria is to focus on reducing the number of people getting infected. And that's what the essay is telling us. You can
Mm,
use different, you have different options,
yeah. Yes.
okay? And the essay is defending that argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this file with all of these examples, okay?
Okay.
And remember, and guess what? What is our next assignment?
I don't know.
An argumentative essay,
Okay.
okay?
Mhm.
Any topic in a specific?
No. No, it's
Do you
okay.
want to choose the topic or you want me to give you the topic?
No, you can give me.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give you the topic in just a little bit. I'll give it to you by text message so you can start working on it. In the meanwhile, we have more argumentative essays to practice and to read, okay?
Okay.
Just one more. It's a really good one, okay?
Okay.
So I really invite you to read it. And I'll share it with you in just a few, and I'll give you the topic for the argumentative essay, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for class today,
Okay.
Daniela.
Tomorrow we will have the class
In the morning, yes.
in the morning. Okay.
Tomorrow should be easygoing, I hope. So
Okay.
far, it looks like yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniela. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.